Hello Glampers, I'm Travis.
I'm Pier,
And we're the Glamping Leaves. This week we've been staying out at Destin West RV Resort in Destin, Florida on Okaloosa Island. And we've been able to spend the week out here. Some of Pier family came down and stayed in a resort next door to us. And so we've had several adventures together and had a great time this week. Thought we'd share some of the video of the campground so you see what it looks like if you're interested in booking here sometime, as well as some of the activities we did in the area. On this visit, we stayed at Destin West RV Resort, which is located on Okaloosa Island, right in between Destin, Florida, and Fort Walton Beach, Florida. When you enter the campground, you're going to immediately see the park office on the right. You're going to want to pull over here and get checked in. They'll give you a packet of information about the campground and some of the local attractions. These campsites on the right are designed for motorhomes, Class A, B, Cs that you can pull directly into the site. And on the left, which is the center of the loop of the campground, more so for the travel trailers that can back in, but of course a motorhome can park in those sites as well. We get on back, you're going to find the swimming pool area as well as a nice observation deck area where you can sit and enjoy the water, or we watched a couple of sunsets from there. As I drive by here, you can see the Young family who are actually our site neighbors from Texas. Very nice family and great neighbors there. These two spots here in the back of the campground are probably the best two. The one there on the left for the travel trailers, straight ahead there on the right, was the one for motorhomes, which would have a beautiful view of the water of the bay area on the back side of the island. As you can see, it's a very clean campground. The sites are semi-private with the bushes or flower bushes there in between the sites, giving a little bit of privacy between your neighbors. They're all nicely paved and have full hookups to the sites there as well. And it just basically makes a big U-shaped loop here, as you can see as we've driven through the campground, and you'll be able to see all the sites. We stayed in site number 16 during our visit, but this is a good example of what the sites look like. They're all pretty long, pretty wide, so plenty of room if you've got a toy hauler or a long fifth wheel there. Each site has a picnic table, but no fire rings in this campground. One of the perks of staying at Destin West RV Resort is when you get checked in, they'll give you a wristband. And that wristband is going to give you access to the Island Resort, which is right across the road from where the campground entrance is located. The Island Resort has several different swimming pools, several restaurants, a gift shop area, a private beach area, an outside tiki bar. So it's a pretty nice, neat little place to be able to get away and go over and enjoy resort accommodations while you're staying in the campground. We visited over here a few different times during our stay. In the swimming pool area, there's a bar called the Island Grill. So if you're out enjoying the pool or the sun, you can actually go up here and get something to eat without having to go all the way back inside the hotel to that restaurant. Back here is a swimming pool we visited a few times during our stay. It's a good sized pool, nice deck area, several chairs to be able to hang out in. And fortunately during our stay it was never really busy, so we were able to kind of have full reign of the pool at times. It's got a nice waterfall area with a swim up bar that you can swim through the water there and get you something to drink. This is another part of the resort that we enjoyed. So it has an outside bar area here as well as several chairs. You can kind of pull up and look over the beach and watch the sunset from this area. You can see the pier over there in the distance. This is also how you can access the private beach area for the resort. So during the day they'll actually have some chairs and umbrellas out here you can rent, which is pretty nice. It's not as crowded as having to go over some of the other public beach areas. One of the days during our visit, we rented a pontoon boat with PetSmay's family, went over to the Crab Island area. It's a pretty neat little area. Actually, the water averages around knee deep or waist deep, kind of depends on where you anchor in here. But people bring their own boats or rentals and just kind of anchor down and hang out, enjoy the sun, do some swimming, look for some of the crabs or little fish that kind of swim around the area there. It's a nice little place to hang out and kind of cool off on a hot day. One of the other local attractions that we enjoyed was going over to the pier. Kind of go over here and watch people do some fishing, see some pretty cool views from the pier looking back down the beach area. And get some pretty interesting fish. I'm not used to these saltwater fish here since we're from Nashville area and used to doing some freshwater fishing. But saw a lot of different types of fish under the pier there. Saw some dolphin, saw shadows of what I believe they said were some tiger shark. Here there's one of the guys fishing for a lot of the bait fish. He would cast this little rig out here and reel in bait fish pretty much back to back. It's pretty neat to sit here and watch him for a minute. These guys hooked into one of the types of fish, I forget what it was called, but type that kind of suck onto the side of a shark or something like that. They're kind of a nuisance fish from the way everybody talked about them down there. Not really any good to eat, but they sure were catching a lot of them down there. This is a view of the Harbor Walk area, looking at it from the water as we're heading out for a fishing trip one morning. But the Harbor Walk area is a pretty popular area. It's got some restaurants in there, some different shops to visit, and then this is where some of your different water excursions will take off from, or fishing vessels, and there's also some jet ski and boat rentals over here as well. But I can remember this area as a kid when we go down here and go fishing. All this area really didn't exist. It just kind of had the boats and docks and all, and that's where you'd hop on a boat to go do some fishing. So it's amazing how much this area has grown and changed over the years. One of my favorite parts of the week, we actually went out on the Blue Runner 2 to do some deep sea fishing, and we actually caught some triggerfish, some vermilion, and a few others I just can't remember, but caught a lot of fish, even several that were keeper size. The seas were a little rough. It made it a little hard for staying on the deck here. There's a hurricane out in the Gulf area, so it made the water a little choppy. Swells were anywhere from 4 to 6 feet, so try to keep our feet stabilized, and while we're trying to reel in some of these fish here, made it a little challenging, but still we had a great time. And like I said, we were able to bring in several different fish there, and the crew was very helpful. They're always attentive to our needs. It was pretty nice having them right there help identify some of the fish. They'd take them off the hooks for us and make sure we were within our size limits to be able to keep some fish, so we didn't get any trouble with the game wardens there. Once we got back to the dock and got situated, they pulled all our fish out and they filleted them up for us right there on the pier. So we were able to enjoy some fish later on that evening for dinner. It was a great experience. I'd recommend the Blue Runner 2 if you're going down there. Hope you enjoyed that video of our time spent here in Destin. We had a great time on the deep sea fishing trip, as well as over on Crab Island, spend some time on the pontoon boat there and looking at the ocean views, and spending some time over at the Island Resort as well over on the pier. So have you ever stayed here or have some interest in staying here, have some tips you can share with some of our viewers, please leave a comment below, or feel free to ask us any questions on our adventures that we had while we were here. If you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. We'd greatly appreciate it, as well as giving the video a thumbs up. Any help is appreciated in helping grow the channel, and all those things help with the YouTube formulas and analytics to grow the channel. So thanks again for watching. Hope you have a great rest of the day.